In September 2015, guards at America's main nuclear weapons plant chased an object through the night sky. It made no sound. It showed no engine, no exhaust, no visible way of flying. By the end, you'll understand something stranger than aliens. The real mystery isn't what these things are. It's the size of the gap in the government's own files. The place is Pantex near Amarillo, Texas. This is where the country assembles and takes apart its nuclear warheads. The airspace above, it is some of the most watched on Earth. That night, something crossed into it anyway. Officers on the ground tracked it moving overhead. It drifted and turned without any sound a wing or rotor should make. They went after it. They couldn't close the distance. They couldn't name what they were looking at. The facility went into lockdown. Guards at a nuclear site do not lock down for a stray drone they can identify. And here's the part that sits with you. In the Energy Department's own paperwork, released decades of caution later, the incident is still listed as unexplained. So you ask the obvious question. Was this a one-time glitch? A weather balloon on a strange night? Maybe. But it wasn't the only time trained people saw something they couldn't file away. Go back to 1949. At Los Alamos, the birthplace of the atomic bomb, scientists kept seeing green fireballs streak the sky. They held a conference about it. A room full of physicists and one prominent astronomer arguing over lights above their own lab. The easy answer was meteors. The astronomer rejected it. Meteors don't behave the way these did, over and over above one specific place. Notice the pattern already forming. The lights, the objects, the intrusions, they keep gathering over nuclear sites. Now here's where your instinct probably jumps ahead. You're thinking the files must finally prove it. A kraft. A body. Contact. They don't. Not one document in any release confirms an alien origin, a recovered ship, or anything built by non-human hands. Skeptical reviewers who read the same pages came away blunt. They found no evidence whatsoever of anything artificial and alien. That should deflate the whole story. It doesn't, because the gap it leaves behind is the actual mystery. Let's put the ordinary explanation right next to the strange one. A physicist named Sean Kirkpatrick ran the Pentagon's UAP office until 2023. He reviewed the records. He says he found no recovered alien technology anywhere in them. And he explains many of the famous videos with something almost boring. It's how infrared cameras see heat. Point an infrared sensor at a hot jet engine. The heat smears across the frame. It renders as a long, glowing, pill-shaped bloom. You've seen those videos. The smooth capsule of light that seems to have no wings. That shape isn't a craft. It's the engine's warmth blurred by the camera. So the expected result and the measured result finally meet. Expected, alien machines. Measured, heat blooms, balloons, and honest confusion. But hold that next to Pantex. The infrared trick can't explain officers on the ground chasing something silent at a site that then locks down. That's the core of the whole thing. Some cases fold neatly into ordinary answers. A handful do not. In 2020, a Navy weapons officer over the Atlantic described an object 12 to 15 feet tall. He called it a large, somewhat deformed balloon, maroon in color. It was never verified. It might have been exactly what it looked like, a balloon. That one probably folds. In 2019, over the eastern United States, an aviator with 28 years of service tracked a rectangular object. It moved at high speed for 10 to 15 seconds, then vanished. His own words, flight characteristics unlike anything I'd seen in my 28 years. 28 years is a long time to be surprised. In 2025, military sensors near the East China Sea logged something else. An area of contrast shaped, they wrote, like a six-pointed star. A balloon can explain one report. It struggles to explain a decorated aviator, a nuclear lockdown, and a six-pointed sensor return all at once. Here's the mistake almost everyone makes with these files. People read unexplained and hear alien. They treat the two words as the same. They are not. Unexplained means the person who investigated it ran out of answers. That's all it means. A thing can be genuinely unidentified and still be entirely of this world. A rare weather event. A foreign drone. A sensor doing something no one anticipated. The honest reading of these releases is quieter than the headlines. And somehow more interesting. What the files actually prove is three things. First, the government recorded far more unexplained incidents than it admitted for decades. Second, a small number of cases, the nuclear site intrusions most of all, were never solved by the very officials assigned to solve them. Third, unexplained is not alien. The distance between those two ideas is the real mystery, and no document closes it. So what changed in the world because of all this? For the first time, you can read the primary pages yourself. The releases pulled in the Pentagon, NASA, the CIA, the FBI, the State Department, and the Energy Department. Material stretching back to the 1940s, sitting in public. About half of the newest batch dates from 2010 or later. These aren't only dusty Cold War stories. Some happened in the sky above you within the last few years. That's the shift. The conversation moved out of rumor and into documents anyone can open. Think back to that night at Pantex. Officers chasing a silent shape over the place that holds the country's warheads. The infrared explanation doesn't reach it. The balloon explanation doesn't reach it. And the file that describes it ends with no answer. Whatever crossed that airspace remains, in the government's own words, unidentified. Not proven alien. Not explained away. Simply open. And that's the wonder worth keeping. Trained people, watching the most guarded sky in the nation, saw something they still can't name. If quiet